I think it is now.
Okay.
Very good, Jaylo.
Very good. What happened?
I don't know, but for some reason I was getting an error message, but now it seems to be working.
Oh, good.
And you ran out of the room to get aloe vera.
I did, yeah.
What inspired that?
I thought I was getting a cold sore, so I decided to take care of it really quick.
Oh.
Yeah, aloe vera really helps with pain, I noticed.
We better not do anything
what?
Too oral related today if you're getting a cold sore.
No, I'm fine.
Okay,
It just felt like I was going to get one, so I decided to put some aloe vera on there before I... Yeah.
It's interesting how oral sex can lead to different diseases.
Why are we talking about that? What does that have to do with aloe vera gel?
Well, the cold sore made me think of it. Because if somebody goes down on you and they have a cold sore, you could get herpes.
Right. Of course.
But there's also the thing where, we may have talked about this before, but Michael Douglas got throat cancer from going down on women.
Oh, that's disgusting.
I'm
sorry. I mean, I would think that would have happened with complications of like emphysema, right? Or I don't know, smoking or.
No. I think he said that he got it from giving women oral sex. Yeah.
Wow.
It's weird to think of Gordon Gekko being in such a position, but
Gordon Gekko.
You remember that? Greed is Good.
From what? Gordon Gekko?
Wall Street.
I don't think I watched it. I don't remember.
It's a good movie. Oliver Stone did it. They did a sequel, I think near the end of the Bush administration, which I have not seen, but the original is pretty good. And I believe that Michael Douglas won his only acting Oscar for that movie.
And he played Gordon Gekko?
Yes.
Oh, wow. He wasn't a gecko, though.
No, he was into greed and going down on women, apparently.
In his personal life.
We don't know. I don't want to...
I don't know how we got on this weird topic.
Talk about the character of Gordon Gekko, because you were telling me about aloe vera.
Yeah, but I didn't actually want to go there, though.
Okay, that's fair.
I was just going to say that aloe vera helps with pain.
I like it a lot.
Yes, it's very good. It doesn't just hydrate your skin. It also has some things in it that can help hair growth, and you can also put it on your burns, and it helps with pain. It really does.
I don't get cold sores too often.
I don't either,
but I am worried about maybe one day I'll get throat cancer because of other activity. But sometimes you just got to roll the dice, babes.
Oh my goodness.
Alana.
What?
It's Friday.
Yes.
Around 8:45.
Yes.
And you just got groceries from Walmart.
I did, and I almost didn't get it because the person who delivered it, he seemed very, very nice, but I didn't know if he was a resident here because he was just coming into the door, or he was just standing out there, and I just got out of the building. And I heard bags, and I finally asked him if he came from Walmart, and I said, yeah, that would be me. That would be for me. So I was glad there was no mix-up.
Following that experience, you and I went to the garbage room.
Yeah.
To empty your recycling.
Uh-huh.
How do you feel about that?
It was okay. It was uneventful. I mean, it's just something I have to do, and as much as I have to put the garbage down the garbage chute.
Oh, that's good, babes.
And I am thankful that I don't have to go all the way outside to the dumpster to put it in there, because I don't like going to dumpsters.
I remember when I lived in Colorado, I had to do that. Because I don't think that there were any garbage chutes. Is that right, or am I remembering that wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm remembering that correctly.
Yeah, because some apartment buildings don't have garbage chutes, and you actually have to go to the dumpster and put it in there. Yeah.
It was fine, except during the winter. It kind of sucked.
I don't like going to the dumpsters anyway, because they smell, and you don't know what else is hiding in there. Ugh.
Yeah. But that's all right, babe.
Unless you're going supposedly, like, unless you're going dumpster diving and you're able to find good stuff, but I still think it's kind of gross, but that's me.
It's how you do it, babes. I don't do it anymore, but it was kind of fun back in the day.
Kind of gross.
Oh. I understand, Jaylo.
Yes.
That you did not sleep well last night.
No, I didn't. I did not.
Elaborate.
There's not much to elaborate. I went to bed about, well, I was listening to my book about 10. I must have fallen asleep during that time because I didn't realize that there was another part to the story, because there was part 1 that had 9 chapters, and I just started part 2, and I got to part 4 of chapter 4 of part 2.
In 1984.
Yes.
What are you thinking so far?
It's very interesting. I like so far the characters that he meets are very interesting. Like the old guy at the pub, that's like in his 80s, and he's trying to ask him how things were like in the revolution, but he couldn't give, before the revolution, but he couldn't give him a straight answer because he was, he's been there, done that, and, he's kind of towards the end of his life. And then he meets a nice 60-ish-year-old guy that owns a junk shop named Mr. Charrington, and learning about the little rhymes that he used to recite. Orange and lemons, what did he say? Orange and lemons rang the bells of St. Clemens. I don't know, it was kind of weird. What was it? You owe me 3 farthings, said the bells of St. Martin's. I don't know, it was odd. It was very strange. And I guess he asked him about those rhymes because he remembered that they were churches, and they were churches in old London, and St. Martin's just happened to be still standing. I don't know about the other one, but he wanted to know what happened before the revolution, before everything changed, and then we get introduced to Julia. I don't know what to think of her still. She's a little bit odd, but that's me.
I've known some odd Julias in my day.
I've met some cool ones. I've met a couple of cool ones, and I'm sure I've met some weird ones too. We won't go there.
No.
We won't go there.
Sometimes I worry.
Yes.
Insert name of whatever president you want to, but it's really more of who backs the people in office. That we could have a situation one day where we are living in 1984. If the powers that be decide that.
I am certainly in agreement with you on that, because in listening to what George Orwell is alluding to with the victory gin, the victory coffee, the insipid stews. I don't even know if you would call them stews. I guess it would be soup, right? And the rations on clothes and the rations on chocolate, and it's not even good chocolate. I mean, because I remember that scene where Julia offers Winston half of a slab of her chocolate, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he said that it tasted like the chocolate that, like, it was implied that it tasted like chocolate he tasted before, not like the crumbly stuff that they're giving out. And I'm like, oh, wow.
And oftentimes when you hear older people talk about food, or people from other countries talk about our diet, they'll always talk about, not always, but often, they'll make reference to the lack of flavor we have.
It depends on where you come from, too.
Right.
It depends on where you are. I mean, I could tell you this, Bubs. In comparing Filipino foods, right? I honestly think the way that it's made in America is actually, I like it better than when it's made in the Philippines.
How do your relatives who actually grew up there feel about it, though?
It's different because the meat, especially with the meat, it's manufactured differently. Here we have better ways of preserving it. you know how we put salt on it, and we, you know, if it's fresh, we hang them and cure them, and we have refrigerators now, so we can preserve them by freezing them or refrigerating the meat so that it's good to eat. But and in the Philippines, I remember when I went there, the cows are not very malnourished, and also because you know, things are grown differently. Like the rice is different. It's not like how it is here. We have cleaner rice. We take special care to make sure it's sanitized. You know, sanitation's very different. It's very different. Like you would not be able to drink the water there if you didn't live there for a long time.
So do you think that's just a way of people complaining because people need something to fight against, and food is an obvious target? So I can say that the food sucks here compared to where I used to live, even though the conditions aren't nearly as sanitary there. Because it allows me to continue complaining and whining about my life, about something that I can't really do anything about, instead of actually taking action.
I'm not sure what you mean about that.
Okay, so I've noticed oftentimes people will look for things to complain about that they can't do anything to change because it's a way of being a victim without saying you're one. Right? So food is the example that comes to mind. People will say the food doesn't taste as good, or I can't do anything about this food. And it's a way, I think, sometimes of maybe playing the victim.
Well, I don't know if that's true. I mean, unless you make your own chocolate or have your own garden and farm, you actually can do something about it. I don't know. I mean, maybe if you're thinking about like manufactured stuff, which I can understand that, but you know, people can do something about it if they, for example, if they only buy from local farmers or dairies, or have their own garden of their own and they have fresh fruits and veggies. I don't know.
I'm of two minds of this. On one hand, I think it's unrealistic to garden all your own veggies or shop locally all the time. And on the other hand, I think people who focus so much on this, it's just another distraction. It's just a way for them not to fix the stuff that they can work on.
You mean like, you don't think that gardening or farming or buying locally when you can is not fixing stuff for you?
I think it's unrealistic to do it all the time. So I think that there is some valid reason to complain. But I also feel like people who choose to harp on it a lot, it's just a way to keep from fixing their own issues.
I don't know if I agree with you on that. I mean, I think there's something to be said, because if you don't like the stuff in your food,
Well, that's why I said I'm of two minds on it. Though.
I will say this though: if somebody is shopping at the grocery store, I think it's absolutely imperative that there should be labels so that people know what's in their food before they buy it.
I agree, and it's
modified.
It's interesting to me how so many people are against that. Like Cara Santa Maria, for example, is somebody who I respect on a lot of things, but she has come out against labeling.
I think it's one of those things where you actually should label it so that people have the choice to whether they want to buy it or not.
I think her argument, though, and I'm just using her as an example,
okay,
because she's a celebrity I could think of who's said she's against labeling in the past, is that all of our food has been modified in some way. It doesn't really make sense to label it.
Yeah, but that almost sounds like you're avoiding a problem that doesn't have to be a problem.
It's a little bit of a cop-out.
I think so. It's like you're avoiding the issue that already has been an issue for a long time. That's how I see it. Yeah. I would agree with you on that.
Interesting, babes.
Yeah. I think we should absolutely know what's going into our food so that we don't get sick.
Maybe it's not as simple as putting a label on an avocado. Maybe it's a little bit more complex. So, for example, there could be a centralized website where you go to and each store has to put on, okay, this is where I got this tomato from, and here's how it's farmed. These are the ingredients that are used for the pesticides, that type of thing. That seems to me a little bit harder to implement, but more... It seems like a reasonable approach in the long run to try to do something like that.
Well, I know that if you shop online at grocery stores, they will give you the nutritional value for certain items.
But not everything.
But I think it should also be for the veggies and fruit you have. Not just other stuff.
I agree, babes.
Yeah, I would agree.
But people are still going to make bad choices.
They are, but I think to know that there are choices and that you can choose this or that, I think that should be an option. If you choose to read the label and not buy it, that's your choice. But if you choose not to read the label and you buy it anyway, that's your choice too.
Sometimes it's also paralysis by analysis. There's so much information out there that it makes it hard for some people to make a decision.
Paralysis by analysis. I kind of like that, actually.
People have accused me of that.
Wow, really?
Yes.
Okay.
You know that I like to analyze things.
Way too much, in my opinion.
And sometimes I'll get into this field to where I don't know what to do.
You're going down, you would go down these rabbit holes. I'm like, all right, you got to come out of that.
Especially in my 20s. That was a big theme of my 20s.
Wow.
Yes.
Oh man, I don't know if I get along with you.
Oh my goodness.
No, I'm just kidding. I don't know what I would be able to do, but...
Because you're like, why do anything and worry about the consequences? Wait, all.
That's not what I would say.
Okay.
I would just say, geez, lighten up. Not that big a deal.
Well, in some ways I was, but in other ways I would torture myself with these mental exercises.
So you're just like hypersensitive to a lot of things.
Yes.
Hypersensitive.
That's a good way of putting it.
Okay.
And it's something I still deal with today, but I've become better at it.
So you were hyper aware and also hypersensitive.
I think the two are connected, right?
Yeah. Overly stimulated with a lot of information.
Yes.
Hyper with that. Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Oh, good.
Interesting. Okay.
Yes.
I got it.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Alana.
Yes.
We have a new president. And I actually don't want to turn this about Trump versus Biden because I don't like either of them. Okay. Right? I mean, I voted for Biden, but it's not like I endorse him completely. It's like how you voted for Ted Wheeler. It's how I voted for Biden.
Well, I shouldn't have voted for him in the first place. I regret that, but I didn't know what to do, and I didn't know if I was able to leave it blank. Because this was the first time this is literally the first time I ever voted. And so that I was, and I know.
How do you make it to 40 without voting? I don't understand.
We've had this conversation before.
Refresh my memory. Okay,
I'll just say it this way. Because I already know that you're going to be analyzing this. I didn't know a lot about politics at all. I didn't start to really want to get to really understand it until 2008, and I don't know why it took me so long, but it did. And I was not able to...
You're fine.
Yes, I know. I was not able to vote 4.5 years ago for reasons that I'm not going to state here because it's private. It's not anybody's business. So
except for mine, but keep going. Sorry.
So anyway, yeah, I voted last year, and what I should have done with the mayor thing, I wasn't even sure. I wasn't sure what to do about that. I don't know. I didn't know if I could put something, or maybe I should have put somebody else's name.
You can write in a name.
Yeah, I should have done that, and I realized
voted for me.
I wouldn't have. Oh. Maybe I'll put Santa Claus.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, that.
Your phone's going crazy, babes.
Yes, I know. I think. I just got some text from. Yeah. Oh, stop it. All right.
From your mom?
No.
Oh.
No. I think it was from.
Church of Satan.
Would you stop?
Sorry.
It's from Walmart.
Okay. Oh, okay. Keep going.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
That's right.
It's annoying when that happens. So anyway, yeah, I should have put somebody else's name. Maybe I should have put like Tim Sims.
I like that. Your imaginary fiance.
Muriel. It's Mariel. Who played her again? Tell me again who it was.
I forgot. It might have been. It wasn't Minnie Driver. It was.
Was it Minnie Driver? I thought it was.
Maybe it was.
Oh, it was so funny. It was a weird movie, but it was funny.
Yeah, but I want to get back to this thing of
yes.
who the president is. And again, I like Biden more than Trump, but that's not saying much. And I'm not really a huge fan of either of them. I want to ask you.
Yes.
This is a question I have. I do think that voting is important.
Yes.
And we've already established that I'm a lefty and all that good stuff.
Of course.
In this election,
yes,
I noticed that when I would tell my friends that I was considering not voting, my lefty friends would get all up in arms, like, you got to vote for Biden. Now, in previous years, my right-wing friends were the ones who would be upset when I said I was thinking about not voting. And I want to know from you.
Yeah.
Well, let me add on more to this.
Okay.
I think that voting in local elections is very, very important.
Mm-hmm.
But how essential is it to vote in the presidential race?
I think it's very essential.
Mm.
Now, granted, I really wish that I would have studied more about the local elections, because there were some people I didn't really know what they stood for until I looked at until I had someone help me with the voter pamphlets, because sometimes it was a little bit hard.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember when I was 18 years old and I started getting these huge pamphlets, I'm like, holy cow, I can't read all of this. This is too much, right? And they used to come in these big envelopes. And I'm like, how am I supposed to get through this? And it just seems so overwhelming to me. But what was your question? My question was, how important is it to vote in the presidential race? I think it's, well, to me, it's very important to vote, whether it's local or whether it's national. And even if you are voting for someone that your relatives or your friends disagree with, you are voting because you're voting for who you think would be, you are voting for who you think would be, for the betterment of our country or for the betterment of whatever city you're in. I think it's very important. Whether you are very ultra-conservative or whether you're very left-wing, I think it's important on both sides. Back in the day, well, as you know, typically I'll vote for a third-party candidate. Yeah. And I would have these arguments with my conservative friends before, the Trump administration. And I'd say, well, if I vote, I'm not going to vote for the person who you think should be the president. And they'd always say, I'd rather you vote for some crazy left-leaning person than not vote at all. I don't know if I understand that logic. I do, because it's a matter of having your opinion heard. Okay. To me, though, I knew I was going to feel this way when I voted for Biden, but I regret voting for him. Even though I'm glad he won, I regret that I played a part in that. And I have a very different opinion on it, but that'll come later. At this point, I'm not even sure I'm going to vote in the presidential race in 2024.
Like, I'm already thinking I might just have to tap out for the future.
Really?
As far as the presidential race goes now, that doesn't mean that there are things that the president has control of that I don't understand. Like, they're very important as far as picking judges,
Right.
setting a tone for our country. But I've been disappointed by every single president we've had in our lifetime. And I don't know that I need to go out and vote for somebody that that's either not gonna win or that I'm gonna be disappointed in.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So
I honestly think it's a cop-out, but...
Really?
Yes, I do.
Tell me.
So, it's easy to say, well, I'm not going to vote for the next person who's in office, right? And it's easy to say that, but at the same time, I feel that as an American citizen, now that I am very much learning about politics and what and in my own opinion, what I feel, what kind of values a person who is running should hold for our country, that's not going to stop me from voting. No, because I want to know the values of any candidate who's running, and if I'm not happy with it, then that's every reason why I should vote, because whoever I don't want in office, I want to vote somebody that I want in office, and it's not going to stop me from voting.
See, the argument I would make is we're always given these lesser of two evil arguments. So again, you already know I'm not a fan of Trump, but if you look at Biden's record, there's a lot to hate there too.
Can I give my opinion?
Go ahead.
You don't have to comment. I have a feeling you will, but
I probably will. Go ahead.
I think that I don't believe Biden really won. I think that he is... Stop laughing.
Okay.
I think he is a criminal, and I think he should be arrested, and I don't think he's going to last in office for 100 days.
Is that something you're learning from QAnon?
No, I don't even know the whole QAnon weird... I don't even know what that is.
Okay.
I don't even follow QAnon. I think QAnon is a conspiracy theory that not a lot of people understand, because I don't get it.
It's heavily supported on the right, but
not really.
Yes, it is.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is.
There are some conservatives that are not even talking about QAnon, so I don't know.
But a lot of them are. Here's what I'd say, babes. Let me respond to what you just commented on.
Of course.
Biden did win the election.
No, he didn't.
Bill Barr said he did, and the Supreme Court loaded with Trump's picks.
I don't care what Bill Barr said. I don't care what some of the Supreme Court said, because they've been against. A lot of them have been against President Trump for a while anyway.
And a lot of them have been supporters of his. Now,
hold on. Are you going to let me finish what I was going to say? Because I wasn't finished.
Oh, you weren't? Okay.
No.
Because you actually did say something in your statement that I agreed with.
Really?
Yes.
Okay, well, finish what you're going to say, because I have some other thoughts.
All right. Biden is a criminal and should be in prison. But you can make that argument about Trump and every other person who's held the office of commander-in-chief.
Okay, well...
He will make it past 100 days.
I don't believe so.
He's not going to be in there for a second term. I would be shocked if he
I really don't think he's going to last for 100 days. I really don't.
Why not?
Well, think about this, Bubs. Okay? Do you honestly think...
I do think.
I wasn't finished.
Go ahead. Don't joke.
And I did not watch the inauguration, but I've been hearing a lot of things about it.
Okay.
And it doesn't seem like a lot of the left is really happy about it. I mean, I haven't heard, like, maybe I've heard about some cheers from leftists that have given their opinion, but it sounds like not everybody is, like, fully on board. I heard that in other inaugurations, the person who's supposed to be president is supposed to be sworn in before the vice president. Am I correct?
Yes, and that's what happened Actually, I don't know that
no,
that's
it
the case.
didn't. It didn't.
You're right.
It did not, and that
right.
is not, and that is unconstitutional for the vice president to be sworn in.
That is not unconstitutional.
It is illegal for that to happen.
No, that is not illegal. It's part of ceremony. So I think you're right that it traditionally happens the other way, but that's not breaking a law.
By the way, both of them were supposed to swear on the Bible. Okay, did you know that Kamala Harris did not? Did you also know that that Biden, when he was supposed to swear on the Bible, there apparently, from what I've been hearing, there's you know what the sign of an upside down cross is, right?
No.
It's a very demonic symbol.
Okay.
That doesn't really sit well with me. I also think it's really interesting that during this supposed ceremony, the military, all of the guards now, not just some of them, but all of the guards, when he was being sworn in, they all turned their backs on him. What do you think that means?
Well, so let me give you some context. You don't actually have to swear on the Bible. Now, it's traditionally done. And let me say this. I listened to it through TYT. I didn't watch the video. I listened to it on YouTube, but my screen was off. Mm-hmm. So I don't know whether she swore on the Bible or not, but I know it's not a legally binding thing anymore. There have been...
apparently she did not. She had her purse.
Okay.
She put her hand on her purse. Biden...
I'll take your word for it, but what I'm saying, though, is it's not... You don't have to swear on the Bible, even though ceremoniously... It's been done most of the time. But
what they're saying is they are not. What it sounds to me like is that they are not taking this oath seriously to defend and protect our country.
Okay, so let me address some of the other stuff you said. One, I don't know that to be true. I don't know Kamala Harris's religious beliefs, so it's not up to me to say whether or not she swore on the Bible, whether or not that was right for her.
I mean, whether or not you know what's in her heart or whatever, right?
I don't.
A lot of actions, as you know, actions speak louder.
I know that politically I disagree with her, but I don't know her religious beliefs.
Well, I mean, even so, though, okay, if you're taking an oath of office, if you're sworn in to serve the country for 4 years or even 8 years, and you... it just sounded to me, from what I've been hearing, that they were not taking this oath seriously.
That's what it sounded like to you. I don't know that to be the case.
And I just think that...
But can I say a few other things? I also find it hard to believe that all of the military would turn away. I think that's very convenient to say. And the right wing, let's be honest, babes. No, do you want me to be honest?
No.
Of course not, because that's what Trump people don't want.
Hey, wait a second. That's a pot shot.
Don't you think that the right wing will often take unfair shots at people?
No, I don't.
Really?
No, I don't. A lot of the times, leftists have taken unfair shots at people with no basis.
No, but this is a deflection.
With no basis. No, it's not a deflection thing. It is not a deflection thing. There is a difference between facts and what is fiction.
Let me ask you this.
And a lot of what the left has done was they have fictionalized.
Let me ask you something.
They have fictionalized. Let me finish before you go on, because I know you like to talk. They have fictionalized a lot of things about people, and they have no basis. They have no basis. They have no credibility, and all they do is fabricate.
Okay.
And I'm finding that to be true more and more and more, because I don't. That's why I don't listen to left wing media, because they lie all the time.
I have a question.
They're a bunch of liars.
I have a question for you, babe. When was the last time you heard somebody on the right say anything nice about either Joe Biden or Kamala Harris?
There's nothing nice about them. That's
really?
The thing.
There's
nothing. There may have been some that said, "Well, what?"
Nothing. You don't think that there's nothing good you could find about Joe Biden? Nothing. He's just a completely evil, dumb human being with no redeeming qualities.
Okay, all I can say is that people may have said, well, this guy, he seems nice, but he's kind of, he's not, he shouldn't be president because, and then listing his background, who he has supported, things of that sort. I think that I haven't heard anybody say any good reason why he should be in office. I have not heard anybody on the right or the left that has given me any good reasons why he should be in office.
Well, but has anybody said anything nice about him on the right?
Anything nice?
Yeah.
There may have been somebody that said something like, I don't even remember who it was. There might have been someone who said, well, he seemed like a nice guy before, but, not everybody who has been considered to be nice were really nice. I don't know.
Okay, see, this is where right-wing media loses. No, do you want an honest answer? Because they always say things like, oh, the left-wing media always just attacks Trump. But then they'll always just attack somebody who's a Democrat and never say anything good about them. Like, I could say good stuff about Trump.
Well, here's the thing, though. If there were anything good to say about Hillary Clinton, if there were something nice, and this is what happens in politics, right? If there were anything nice to say about Hillary Clinton, about how she ran, then they probably would report on it.
Right, but she's not the person who's in office now. Joe Biden is.
I'm just giving an example.
Do you want me to say something nice about Joe Biden?
I wasn't asking you to.
Of course, because you follow right-wing media, and in right-wing media, Joe Biden is only a must.
Hold on a second.
Go ahead.
Hold on a second. The difference is if there were more things nice to say about Joe Biden, because his record is very, very, very sketchy.
Right.
If there were something nice to say about Joe Biden that would even redeem him a little bit, and I'm not saying that he's like the devil incarnate or anything. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm saying that if there were any redeeming qualities to list as far as whether he should be in office or not, then maybe there would be more to report on, but there isn't.
Hold on, but here's the thing. He does have a sketchy record. I don't know if he's going to be a good president. I have my doubts. But to say there's nothing nice to say about a person, and always use that argument when there's a left-leaning person, and then say the left-wing media only says negative things.
I mean, maybe there might have been one comment I may have heard, like, oh, he seemed like a nice...
Yeah, but see, he
seemed nice.
Listen to what you're saying. Maybe there might have been one in all the years you've heard about Joe Biden. Maybe. There might have been.
There might have been. I don't remember.
And I can name things that left-wing media has said positive about Trump.
I highly doubt that. I highly doubt that because every time I hear it, it's all these...
And you notice you're not letting me say the positive things that left-wing media has said about Trump.
I bet they're very far and few between.
They are, but the point is, I can think of positive things, and you can think of maybe there might have been one time.
Yeah, I just can't think of anything I can...
Do you want me to tell you a positive about Joe Biden?
Okay.
He's a hard worker. Regardless of whether you think he's an intelligent person, regardless of whether you like his record or not, I don't think anybody can deny that he's a hard worker. Mm-hmm. Right?
I will say that.
Okay.
I will say that.
Now his son has had some controversies, and to be fair, some of the complaints on the right about his son, there's some legitimacy to that. I don't think it's 100%, but I do think that there's some reason for concern there. But from what we can tell, Joe Biden loves his kids. Now, does that mean he's supreme president? No. But is that something positive you could say about him? Yes. Mm-hmm. Right? Joe Biden also has a history of working across the aisle with Republicans. I personally see that as a negative, but that's something that could be seen on the right as a positive. So I'm just saying, the fact that you can't really think of a time when any right-wing media has said anything good about Joe Biden.
This is concerning politics. I'm not talking about like.
Well,
maybe
two of the things I said had to do with politics, though.
Yes, I know
he
that.
works across the aisle, and he's a very hard worker.
Yes, I understand that.
You can't think of a time when the.
I don't. Yeah, I don't know. There's just so many things stacked up against him. There really is, and I don't know. I mean, it's just and this is and I'm not talking about because I don't. There's just a lot of things that up until now, there's just so many things stacked up against him. Things that he said that he shouldn't have said, the way that he's treated women, what he said about women during. I'm just saying.
But I could say the same thing about Trump. And here's the thing too. Did you know that on OWN, I think it's OAN or something like that.
One American News.
Yeah. They had a commentator on there on Tuesday who said, or on Wednesday, I'm sorry, on the day of his inauguration, who said that he hoped Joe Biden would fail as a president. Now, you should always hope, regardless of who the president is, as much as I didn't like Trump, whenever a president starts off their administration, you should always hope they succeed, because that's good for the country.
But that doesn't, I don't know if okay, this is where we disagree.
Okay.
Because if a person is picked for president that would be for the good of the country and the good of the people, right?
Right.
And they came into their campaign based on lies, and
every politician does.
Hold on, I'm not done.
All right. Hold back, Jaylo. Keep going. Are you gonna listen? Yes, I am listening.
Okay, I haven't tickled you until that time.
Oh.
I've held back for a while. But if you have somebody coming in there and they've already had there's like massive evidence. It's not like made up evidence. There's like massive evidence across both sides of the aisle where you've got scandal, and then they're not just small things. They're not just rumors. There's actual scandals where you've got whoever they have supported was very questionable. What they've said in front of audience is questionable. Whether they were deflecting questions from people that were at their town hall meetings. And it's just like stacking up one after the other. I mean, it's understandable that people would be upset,
right?
And you know, I don't want to see anybody fail, but at the same time, it's not looking good for him.
Okay, I do need to respond to what you said. There's a bunch of questionable things about what Joe Biden has done in the past and what he's done since he took office. Again, I hate Joe Biden and I hate Trump. I just hate Trump a little bit more.
I think
so I voted
hate
for
is a very, very strong word.
Well, it's a use on.
I don't know.
Do you want to be the PC police now?
No. What I'm saying is, I don't know that you really hate them.
I do, but maybe I don't hate them, but
I wouldn't call that PC. I'm just saying that I don't know that you would I don't know that you actually hate them.
Okay, so
I don't hate Joe Biden. I just don't like his policies at all. I don't hate him as I don't even know this guy as a person. But there's a lot of things stacked against him.
Right, there is.
And I don't like his policies.
But here's the thing. I think, though, that every president has questionable things in their past, right? Everyone. Nobody has a squeaky clean image, and everything that they've done has been perfect. So to say that disqualifies somebody for being president, I think you would have nobody as president. Now, beyond that, I think when you have reporters on the right saying they don't want the president to be successful on their first day of office, that to me is so anti-American. You should always want the president to succeed because that helps the country succeed.
But that means that nobody can be honest anymore.
No, it doesn't.
Hold on.
Let me say something to that, babes.
Oh.
Can I say something? Can a brother get a word in edgewise?
Oh my
goodness.
This is what I have to deal with, folks.
It doesn't mean that you can't be critical and call them out, but what it does mean is you should still root for them to succeed because it's best for America. I didn't like Trump, as we both know, but I still wanted him to succeed for America and for the good of the world. That doesn't mean that you don't be critical.
Now, I would not come out and publicly say that I don't want this person to succeed. I just don't think he will.
But you don't find that problematic as being a member of the media? Somebody saying that who may be reporting on the news that you hear.
I personally would not say it myself.
Yeah.
But that is one person's opinion. In the age of censorship, you would agree that nobody should be censored at any cost.
I definitely agree with that. But here's what I think.
But hold on. But this person gave an opinion.
Right.
I wouldn't have said it like that. I would probably have kept it to myself, but it was one person's opinion.
Right.
Whether they were going to be ridiculed for that, I don't know, but that is one person's opinion, and I would not have said that in public, but
okay. But doesn't that make you question the validity of OWN if you know that they're willing to have people on there who work for them who are willing to say they don't want Joe Biden to succeed?
Well, they are a smaller conservative media outlet, mm-hmm. and they are known for people that are coming on there that will speak freely, and they are not going to be censored. And I'm even though I may not have said that publicly,
yeah,
I'm perfectly okay with somebody speaking their mind, whether or not you agree with it. I'm perfectly okay with it.
Listen, I'm not.
I don't find it problematic at all, honestly.
I don't think that the person should be censored. I think people's opinions are what they are, and it's better to have that stuff in the open. But it does make me question the type of people who would give them a platform. That's all I'm saying.
But the thing is that nobody else would have given them a platform. They wouldn't be able to come on social media because if they were for Biden, they wouldn't have been able to post it on Twitter or Facebook. Right. They wouldn't have been able to.
But here's
hold on. I wasn't finished. They wouldn't have been able to go to any leftist outlet because they would have been for Biden.
I hear what you're saying.
You know what I mean? And so now that they're running out of options. But where else could they?
I hear what you're saying. My counter argument would be it would make me question the type of news that OWN gives me if I was on the right. That's all I'm saying.
Okay, I totally disagree with you on that one. Yeah. But of course, we've disagreed on many things.
Listen, I didn't like Trump, but I wanted him to succeed as president.
Well, that is good to know. I'm glad that you weren't for the failure of him or anybody else.
I mean, I wanted him to leave office, and I'm glad he's out. But I didn't when he got elected. I was hypercritical, and I think that that's fine. But you still want your president to succeed because it's good for everybody if they do. Now, and again, there's these things that Joe Biden has done since taking office this week that I find very problematic, like his talk of unity.
I think it's absolutely laughable that he's talking about unity.
Yeah, see...
I think it's laughable, very laughable.
Because the devil is in the details. What is that? What are we unifying for? Is it continued socialism for the rest, for the rich, and everybody else it's rugged individualism for? Or is it, screwing people out of healthcare?
Well, here's the thing, though. I don't know how anyone can be unified if he wants a 100-day mask mandate. I mean, nobody's going to... I think most Americans would be very up in arms about it. I don't understand how that would unify anybody.
No. What he's talking about, babes, I'm afraid is not 100 mask mandate or whatever the hell you want to call it.
That's what he said. But I think it would be longer if he had
Joe Biden has a record of being pro-war, whether it's the war in Iraq or the war on drugs, and working across the aisle to make those things happen. And I'm afraid that when he says unify, he means unify to help big corporations. He means unify for more wars. That's the type of thing I'm worried about. Not this mask up stuff.
Well,
Because
no, I mean
think
it's
we need
more than
masks.
just that. I just think it's laughable because I just think it's laughable because because the policies that I've been hearing about, it's anything but unifying.
I will say this. Since he's gotten elected president back in November, which he won.
No, he didn't.
He has been saying more and more left-leaning things, which is actually surprising. Because
it doesn't surprise me at all.
Usually after an election, a candidate moves to the right, and he was already pretty right-winged.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't even close to being right-wing. I've heard a lot of things that he said, and he's not even center. He's going way left, and I think Kamala Harris is going to push him way left.
I would, honestly, babe, if that were true, I would thank God. I would be on my knees right now. Thanking God.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I
don't see either of them as very left wing, but if she pushes him to the left, then
no, she's very left wing, and
I don't think so.
And yes, she is. Yes, she is very left wing.
You know, she's against body cams for police officers.
Yes, well, she also was responsible for putting more black men in prison.
You know that she refused to put Steve Mnuchin in prison. Mnuchin in prison for the housing crisis in 2008. She refused to do it, and her the people who were working with her recommended to be prosecuted.
This lady is all over the place too. I mean, she's a chameleon. I just think something is not right with her.
I don't think either of them is very left leaning as far as I'm concerned.
Yes, they are.
But one thing that Biden has done, which I liked, is he doesn't want to drill in the Keystone. He wants to shut down the Keystone pipeline. And
what good would that do? I mean, that would put a lot of people out of jobs.
It would put some people out of jobs, but it's good for our environment. And we do have to think about our environment.
Yes, and he cares so much for the planet. Yes, and that's going to help everybody. Yes, I'm sure. And then now we're going to implement, and then he's probably going to want to implement the Green New Deal, which I highly, highly recommend that you read up on because you wouldn't believe the stuff that's in there.
Look.
I think, to be fair.
Should we just not do anything and just let the birds and bees take over? Of course not. But it's a balance, babe.
Well, this is under the narrative that we are responsible for what happens as far as the weather, but we are not responsible for that. We cannot be responsible.
Here's what both sides do, which I don't like. They take the extreme. So people on the left will generally say it's our complete responsibility, and people on the right will often say we bear no responsibility.
That is what science is. We don't bear responsibility for our planet. We can steward it. You know what the word steward means, right?
It means I'm likable. Something people
No,
like
not
me.
Steward.
Okay.
You know what the word steward means, right?
I do, but refresh my memory.
Steward means to
take care.
To take care, but it's one thing to take care of it as far as making sure that making sure that we're not littering, right? You want things to look clean.
Yeah.
But if you go beyond that and say, well, you can't drive your automobile, you can't take your Learjet, you can't take a train, or you can't take a bus.
Very few people are saying that.
Oh, really? Yeah. Well, yeah. Why don't you look at Leonardo DiCaprio's record? He's one of the celebrities that is really one of those people that has been harping about global warming.
Yeah, but Leonardo DiCaprio is a dumb movie star. He's great at acting, but that doesn't matter.
But you know what? A lot of the things that leftist Democrats have been saying about global warming, a lot of Hollywood has and I would say that I think they should stay out of politics. But a lot of Hollywood actors and actresses have joined them on their cause, including Leonardo DiCaprio.
I'm a dumb artist. I know that people can be great at their particular form of art and not know shit beyond that. I've just seen so many examples of that. So I don't take what Leonardo DiCaprio says seriously on politics. What I would invite you to consider is sometimes there's a gray area. I don't believe that man is responsible for everything that goes wrong on this planet. However, I do believe that we contribute to it.
Yeah, but when you're telling people not to eat meat as if that could help anything, or if you're telling people you can't have children, if you want to have children, forget about having children. I mean, that's another thing. If you're telling people that you shouldn't be taking any jets anywhere, and you're allowed to take a jet, I mean, Chelsea Clinton is guilty of that. Chelsea, and I'm mentioning Chelsea Clinton because she was getting worked up because people were using their planes to get wherever they wanted to, but she could ride an Learjet because her family is rich.
Yeah, I don't care about Chelsea.
I'm just saying, Bubs. I mean, that's where these elitist. That's what these elitists do. You see, you have to read the fine print.
I do read the fine print.
I don't think you're reading it close enough, Bub.
You know that Joe Biden grew up a poor kid.
I'm sure he did.
And so did Barack Obama, and so did Bill Clinton. And Donald Trump was born rich.
So he wasn't.
Yes, he was.
He was not born rich.
Yes, he was. His dad was rich.
Really?
Yes, his dad was super rich.
And how do you know that?
Because his dad was I believe he was into real estate, and that's how Trump got into it. You can do research on his dad. A lot of people.
I did hear. I know that I watched a documentary on the Trump family, and I think that I wasn't quite sure what business his father was in. It might have been that, actually.
It was.
It might have been that, because he wasn't supposed to be in business. It was supposed to be his brother, one of his brothers.
Well, good for one of his brothers. But my point is, Donald Trump was born rich. George W. Bush was born rich. George H.W. Bush was born rich. So...
But here's the thing, though.
Out of the last... Hold on. Out of the last 3 Democratic presidents we've had, all 3 of them came from humble means. And out of the last 3 Republican presidents we've had, all 3 of them have come from rich families. But here's the
thing, though. Okay?
Yes.
There are people that are rich that have not worked not worked a day in their life.
Right.
Or they've used it to their example. Or they've used it to their advantage. To me, in watching the documentary about Trump and in hearing about how he had to start over again when he admitted that he had some financial problems. I mean, he worked very, very hard for what he had. It wasn't like he never did anything. And you would agree that even his children... Remember when he made that comment about you saw interviews with his children and you said that they seem pretty down to earth?
I don't know about all of his children. I will say Ivanka in past interviews has seemed normal for somebody who grew up with a ton of money. Not normal like you and I, but somewhat well.
And I've seen interviews with Don Jr. and Eric, and they've seemed pretty down to earth to me. But how
much of that though is her mom's influence though? And it's not that Trump. Listen.
Yeah, but you've always questioned it without actually. You haven't even listened to his speeches like I suggested that you do. You haven't.
I've listened to some of his press conferences from beginning.
Yes, but you haven't listened to any of his rally speeches at all. And I think that you would find more out from those things than his press conferences, because you find more stuff when he gets off of the teleprompter. Because he can read on the teleprompter just fine, but when he gets off of the teleprompter, then you know it's what he's really thinking, and you haven't done that.
Maybe I will.
I really don't think you know much about Trump that you realize. I really don't.
Listen.
And I'm not saying this to be judgmental, but I really don't think you do.
He clearly has some form of intelligence. I'm not one of those people.
He's very intelligent.
I'm not one of those people who thinks that Trump is a complete moron. I do think that he's not the businessman that you think he is. But he's also had help. So
is it part of it because of what you've been hearing and now you just don't know?
Well, wait a second. Part of it is from what I've been hearing, but part of your belief on Trump is based on what you're hearing. So what I would say, I want to make this point. It's possible that he did bring himself back from the brink of bankruptcy.
Yes, he did.
But how much of that was he was born in the club, and so he grew up around the right people?
Yeah, but Bubs, by you saying that, you are assuming that just because he was born rich, he didn't have to work a day in his life.
I don't think it's that he never worked a day in his life, and I don't think that it's just because he was born rich. But I do think that contributed a lot to the opportunities he had. Whether it was when he initially had some failures and came back, or whether that was when he was running for president. That does help. It does help to be born rich, babe.
Yes,
it's not the only factor, but it was a factor.
But just because he was born rich, what I'm saying is that doesn't mean that he had a lot of help. I mean, he's been doing this for a really long time.
Do you think that had played any part into the schools he went to and the education he got, him being born rich?
No, I mean, he went to a military school when he was a teenager because his father was worried when he caught him playing with knives.
Somehow I can see Trump doing that.
No, he did. I'm serious. Like, he was getting into trouble. He was a kid that was he was a tough kid. And you wouldn't have known that, but he was a tough kid, and he was, he was causing a little bit of trouble, and his father caught him with knives, and he was like, okay, that's it. I'm going to take you to military school. You're going to be off to military school. And the impressive thing that I thought when I was watching this documentary, that he thought he was very tough, and he met his match when he met this officer, and I mean, this guy like really, really shaped him into the man that he is.
But
hold on, and that's why he has so much respect for the military, because of his training in military school.
You can really see that respect for the military.
Of course. But Bubs,
that was sarcastically. Sorry, go ahead. All right, so let me ask you this. Stop tickling me. I'm curious. Where did he go to college?
Did he go to college? I have to look that up, actually. I don't know.
Something tells me his dad probably helped him with that.
Bubs.
And his dad helped him get into
Bubs,
business.
come on.
No, but...
Come on, Bubs. Now you're making assumptions.
No, but babes, to say that him being born rich had nothing to do with his success, it definitely wasn't the only factor. But to say that it didn't have any influence on him...
Maybe it had some influence, but is laughable?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Listen, I'm willing to say it's not the only factor to his success, but to pretend that it didn't play a part in it at all.
Maybe it did. Maybe it did play a part in it, but I'm just saying it seemed like he worked for everything he had. And he had to go through some things like going to military school. Excuse me.
Good for him. Baby.
Which I thought was rather impressive, actually. I don't know about college, and not every successful person has gone to college.
Something tells me that his dad got him into a good school, then he got in the family business.
Well, Bubs.
What?
Maybe I should give you another assignment this week.
Well, we have to do the first one, and you haven't done your part yet.
Yeah, I know.
And also, Trump has failed a lot of business
should you be more? Maybe you should be. Because I know what the assignment was.
Yes.
But maybe there should be, like, specifics as far as, I don't know.
So the only reason I left it kind of vague is I wanted to leave you to find an example.
Okay.
And so it's not just me saying, well, Alana, you found me this example about when he failed in real estate. But what I really wanted was when he failed in this. So I wanted to make it a thing to where you had some leeway, but also I couldn't go back if you did the assignment. So it wouldn't be unfair.
All right.
We could set more rules for it, but...
Okay.
Do you want to set more rules?
Well... I can't think of any right now.
I mean, we could limit to just him in the White House.
Well, but then that would limit it. That would be really limited. That would be really limited. I'd like to see if there's anything else, but
yeah, that's why I'm against setting more rules.
Okay.
Just find me an example of when Trump, either in print or on video, admitted that he made a mistake and took full accountability. He's not blaming anybody else. And he's also not saying, well, I made this mistake and then I made this great comeback and I learned so much from it. I just want an example of him taking full accountability for something he did wrong and just saying that he made a mistake.
And you still don't mind that if it's a past thing or not.
Yeah, I mean, listen, ideally I would like it to be a time when he's in the White House, but I'll take what I can get. Because I have a feeling this is going to be very, very, very hard for you.
We'll see.
Because he never admits to making mistakes.
Yeah, but basically, you don't know that.
Okay, what I will say is I have not heard of a time when he's admitted doing wrong, unless he can use it as a saying like, oh, I did this incorrectly, but it's because I got the wrong information. Somebody screwed me over, and that's why I did this.
Well, we'll see what I can find, because I haven't found anything yet, but we'll see what I can find.
Yeah. And you need humility in life, and Trump lacks that, in my opinion.
Oh, jeez.
But we're getting way off of what my original question was, babes.
Of course.
It was about voting. I want to know from you. Let's say in 4 years, Trump is running for president again. And my celebrity crush, AOC, is running against him.
No, I'm not voting for AOC.
No, that's not what I was about to ask. You should, but I wasn't going to go there.
No, she's an idiot.
But
she's a dim-witted moron.
She
and that's putting it mildly. I could say other stuff.
She has some flaws, but I do think that overall she would make a much better
president. Who doesn't have flaws? I don't think she would make a better president. She doesn't even know what a garbage disposal is.
Yeah, has she said stuff before that is moronic? Has she done a few dumb things here and there?
Yes, but Absolutely. She said more moronic stuff than anything. I still don't understand why people think she's so great.
I think that's less moronic than saying, well, Lysol could kill the coronavirus.
Okay, and that was taken out of context. By the way, there's a lot of things that have been taken out of context that he has said. Okay,
yes, I'm sure. The media just picks on him. All right, let me bring you. By the way, babes, do you know what song Trump played when he was leaving Washington?
Oh no, because I didn't hear any music.
YMCA.
Yeah, I know. He's played that at the. I know he's played that at the end of the at his rallies before.
I don't want to sound homophobic.
Bubs, come on, really?
No, but let's
really.
No, let's.
YMCA is a fun song. Yes, I know the Village People are supposedly a gay group.
No, but the song was a gay anthem.
I understand that,
but Trump.
That's just a fun song.
Listen, but Trump had a vice president who helped fund gay conversion camps.
Oh, will you stop it?
They played a
Yes, I know, Bubs, but you're analyzing this too much.
No, but they played okay, so let me say this. They played a clip on TYT of Owen analyzing it.
I don't care about stupid TYT.
No, but they're playing a clip.
I don't care.
They're playing a clip from Owen. And then the guy's like, oh, Trump was a young man once.
Okay, that's enough.
You gotta look at the lyrics of this song.
But it's just a fun song. It has nothing to do. It's just a fun song to dance to. It's really not that big a deal.
Let's go back to my question. 4 years from now.
Can we get off of this after that?
Yes, we'll get off of politics, but I have this question.
Thank you.
2024. AOC is running for president with some progressive.
It's laughable.
One can only hope that she is.
Right.
Because that would be awesome.
No, it wouldn't.
And Trump is running with, I don't know, Lying Ted.
Well, I wouldn't vote for Ted Cruz because of the what he did in the other one, but yeah,
What if Ted Cruz was Trump's vice presidential choice, though?
I would still vote for him, and honestly, I think somebody else would be running in 2024, and I also I still think that Joe Biden is not going to survive this, but I don't believe he's going to pick Ted Cruz for vice president.
Okay.
I don't think he would.
Whoever name you want to fill in.
Yes.
Trump is running against AOC. And I tell you, Alana, I love AOC. And she's still my celebrity crush.
I thought that was Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Well, a young Sarah Michelle Gellar.
Okay.
And then AOC.
Right.
But we no longer have a young Sarah Michelle Gellar. We have middle-aged Gellar.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or close to it anyway.
Yes. But I tell you, I am so disappointed with politics. I'm not even going to bother voting this time. Mm-hmm. What do you tell me?
I would still tell you to vote because I think you owe it to your country, whether or not I would agree with it, whether or not your friends would agree with it. I still think that you have the opportunity to vote.
So you would rather I vote for AOC against Trump than not vote at all, if those are your options?
Well, yeah, it's kind of hard. I would highly advise you not to vote for AOC. But if you voted for somebody else, like a candidate you picked, then maybe at least you voted.
Okay.
You wouldn't have to pick whoever it was. But you do have the right to vote for somebody, even if they're not on the ballot, right? I don't know.
You do, but if I tell you I'm either going to vote for AOC or not vote at all, you would rather I vote.
Yes.
Even if it's against Trump.
I think that would be. I think it would be a cop out. I don't think it would be a good excuse not to.
All right, Alana says vote for AOC.
No, I didn't say vote for AOC. I never said vote for. I didn't say vote for AOC. I think AOC would be a horrible candidate.
Oh, it is.
Yes, she probably won't even make it past Congresswoman. There's
rumors that she's going to run for the Senate.
But then I also heard that she may not be in politics anymore.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
I heard the last I heard, she was like fed up with politics and she was tired of it.
I could see that because it is draining for people.
Well, yeah, and her little mind can't take it.
Oh,
her little.
Do we have to take the pot shots?
Her little mind can't take it.
Do we have to take pot shots here?
Well, you've been guilty of taking pot shots a lot, Bubs.
At who? Oh, with the orange.
Anyone. Fighting words, Bubs. Fighting words.
Oh, she made it to the armpit. All right, babes.
It's enough.
We can drop politics if you want.
I think we had a very rousing discussion.
And I actually got in some word as edgewise.
I figured that you would.
A buddy of mine wanted me to send him the link to when we talked about Trump and the insurrection.
Did we talk about that?
We did.
Oh.
It was a mutiny.
Let me guess.
What?
It's the same. I won't mention this person, but is it the same one that likes it when we talk about politics?
Correct.
Of course.
Anyways, I sent it to him.
Oh, no.
Realized I had not listened to it. So yesterday... Oh. No, it was the night before. Sometime recently.
Oh, no. I hope it turned out okay. At least the recording of it.
It did. But the only problem was...
Yeah.
I heard like 80% of your voice.
Oh, no.
For like every 3 minutes you got in, I got in like 10 seconds of rebuttal time. And then it was like... I would be like, well, let me answer that point. And then you're like, well, here's another point.
Oh, jeez.
So,
I don't know. I think you're kind of exaggerating over that.
I feel like this is a more balanced discussion.
Okay.
You know.
I think you're exaggerating about me giving you 10 seconds of time.
Uh-oh. We keep bringing this up, and I'm wondering about a news exchange.
I'm still thinking about it. I don't know. I'm still thinking about it.
You could listen to the Damage Report or Jimmy Dore.
Yeah, and then my brain will be damaged after listening to the Damage Report.
Oh, I've been getting a lot more into it the last few weeks. John Idarola is really good at hosting that show. Shout out to the Damage Report, Jaylo.
Brain Damage Report.
Oh, wait. John Idarola, I think, studied to become a teacher, if I'm correct.
What teacher?
He wanted to teach poli-science. It's either poli-science or history.
Okay.
And then he became a reporter.
Oh, okay.
I hope I'm remembering that right. The only thing I don't like about him, he seems like a very well-balanced guy.
Yeah.
Is his favorite Star Trek series is Voyager.
So,
like, come on, dude. You're a smart guy. You know better.
Not DS9 or
not DS9.
Not Deep Space Nine or the Next Generation or.
Yeah, it's Voyager. It's like, come on, you know better.
You know what? I do want to watch some TNG stuff, but I also want to watch the original because I haven't really watched a lot of it.
We gotta watch some. Maybe we could watch an episode today if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jaylo.
Yeah, we'll definitely one of the two.
Yes.
I maybe some Deep Space Nine and the original.
Yes. By the way, if you want something to really hate AOC for, it is a valid criticism. She is a Voyager fan.
I'm not a Trekkie, so I could care less.
Yeah.
If you don't like her for that, that's all you.
Now, if somebody wants to take her out of office for that, maybe start some impeachment. Most things I would say, no, she's great, but you might have a point there. But I kid. People are allowed to have horrible taste in TV shows.
Yeah, just like people are allowed to choose Star Wars over Star Trek.
Yeah, you can be a dummy as far as an
Hey.
I'm not... Wars.
Hey, wait a second. That's not right, love.
I'm not into Star Wars.
I know, but don't call people dummies just because they're into Star Wars. I'm not like into either one or the other.
They might be insane. No, go ahead.
But I think I understand Star Wars a lot more than I do understand Star Trek.
Oh my God, Star Trek! There's no comparison.
I mean, I just think there's just so much more. I mean, not that I wouldn't be able to get it. It's just like there's so much more to Star Trek.
See, that's why it's so much better. Is because you have these worlds, and the characters are so well developed because of the series, right? Because Star Wars hasn't had a series like Star Trek has, especially the shows that came out in like the 80s and the 90s. But it's also, the books are so descriptive. You have Klingon dictionaries, for example. You have books about Vulcan culture. So the mythology is so deep with me.
Yeah.
That I just feel like that world it's much more believable than Luke Skywalker kisses sister.
And not realizing that that's really his twin. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Quite by accident.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes, you.
I don't know. I mean, I'm not really like super into one or the other, but I will say that, I think the Star Trek series and Star Wars, the movies, I think the score is really good.
I will say this. Star Wars, without question, has a better musical score than Star Trek. That is without question. Yeah, you're correct. I think the score is just amazing. But you do like the S9. Yes, I do. Let's say that AOC becomes president. Bubs, come on. Hold on. Are we going to go around in circles with this? No. We're going to move off. Okay, all right. AOC becomes president. And she comes to you and says, Alana Jaylo, I know you don't like me, but you are a patriot. Would you call yourself a patriot, Jaylo? Of course I would. Okay. She says, you don't like me, but I'm your president and you're a patriot. And I need Rick to be my first husband. And so for the good of our country, you have to give up Rick. So you give me up, and I'm with AOC. Would you ever revisit Deep Space Nine, even though you know we'd be watching Voyager in the White House? That would be really hard. Honestly. Okay. I don't think I could watch it with anybody else. Okay. Would that be fair? That's fair. And you never just watched it by yourself? No. Because I didn't know much about Deep Space Nine until we started going out. If I became the first husband under AOC, I think she would make me watch Voyager in the White House. But anyways, oh my goodness. I said no more politics, and I think we're getting off track here. Yes. I'm glad you are liking 1984. It's very interesting. I don't know what to think of this Julia character, and I know that there's going to be more to read, but it's getting really good. I do like Mr. Charrington. Yes. And the old guy was interesting. I forgot what his name was. I started a book this week that I haven't finished yet. I think it's called Narco 80.
Yes.
Actually, I should know what it's called.
You told me that, yes. I believe.
And it's about this bank robbery that took place in 1980.
Mm-hmm.
It's okay. It's nothing great, though.
Uh-huh.
I'm thinking about reading the follow-up to Ready Player One, but I've heard mixed things about it, and honestly, the book didn't really need a sequel.
Okay. And it was called Ready Player 2, right?
Yes. Very creative name.
Ready Player the Second.
Yes. I haven't been reading a lot this year.
Mm.
In fact...
Well, it is only the 22nd of January.
Right. But I think Narco 80 is the first book I've read this year. And I haven't even finished.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Okay.
I just think it's a very interesting premise.
Yes.
And this is a true story?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
I'll tell you what I did do yesterday.
What's that?
A friend of mine, the person who introduced me to Jaylo.
Mm-hmm. Well, not necessarily. We weren't exactly introduced by this person.
We would not have met if it wasn't for him, though.
Well, yeah, in some ways, yes, you're right.
Yes. He said that he had a birthday present for me.
Yes.
Even though my birthday was a month ago. He's been saying this for a while, but we've been having trouble connecting.
Yeah.
So I went to his office, and then we had lunch, me, him, and his wife.
Mm-hmm.
So this is how much of a chocolate addict I am.
Yeah, I think you're more of an addict than I am, and I love chocolate.
I'm like, I go there, and he's like, oh, I got this gourmet chocolate for you. And I'm just, oh, man, thanks. And then afterwards...
What kind was it?
Oh, it was just really good chocolate. I have the box. I could tell what the company is. It's by this local company, though.
I heard speaking of chocolate really quick.
Yes.
There is a company I heard of called Emily Chocolates. And I don't know where they're based off of. A friend of mine has ordered from them, and they're really good. I've tried some of their stuff.
Very good.
Yeah.
And I got home and I was like, oh yes, this is so good. But then I started thinking, I really am addicted to chocolate. So many people know that I'm into it.
Well, I like chocolate as much as you do, but I think you like it more than me.
I love it.
Even so, which is kind of funny because in my family, they already know that I like chocolate.
I am getting older though.
Yes.
So I do not need to start thinking about how, do I want to stroke out at 50 or cut back on the chocolate? Anyways,
yeah.
I went out to lunch with my buddy and his wife. Mm-hmm. And it's only the second time since the start of the pandemic that I've gone out to eat a meal with somebody.
Right, uh-huh.
So it was very interesting.
So where did you guys eat it? Because you said that they didn't have indoor dining. So how did you? We
ate at the pizza place that I've taken you to before. Was it Sharky's? Sharpies?
We never went there.
Yeah, we did.
When?
When we were going to that dance thing.
It was Sparky's.
Sparky's. You know how bad
when we were talking about when we went to that meeting.
Yeah,
Sparky's. Yes.
So we went to Sparky's, and they have outdoor seating.
Okay.
Because it's kind of in a strip mall.
Yeah.
So we sat out there. There was, I think when we went inside, 2 more people came in to buy food. I don't believe that they sat outside, and I don't think that we saw anybody else come in or out of the strip mall in the time we were there. At least I didn't.
Yes.
Then his wife had some other stuff to do, so me and my friend went on this long walk that before the pandemic wouldn't have been that big, but my feet were hurting last night.
Yeah, I would imagine. I mean,
this is why I want society to open up so I can really do walks. And I know I can still walk now, but it's not the same, especially with a mask on.
But you also have to take care of your feet, you know.
I know.
You gotta, you don't overdo it on your walks because that could really wreak havoc on your feet.
What I'm thinking of doing today, babes, is taking some Epsom salt, putting it on your tongue, and then having you lick my feet.
I am not gonna do that.
Why not?
Number one, I don't have Epsom salt.
Okay, we'll get some from Grubhub or...
No. What?
Instacart or whatever they call it now. Whatever service the kids are using.
No, you wouldn't get it on Grubhub.
Alright, we'll get it from Instacart. Keep going.
Couldn't you order your own Epsom salt?
Well, I'll pay for it, babes, but we'll put it on your tongue and you'll lick my feet clean.
No, Okay, now this is just weird.
Keep going, babes.
No.
Why don't you want to do that?
Because it's gross.
Why? It's not gross to me. I'm the one who has to have somebody's tongue on my feet.
Because I don't think I'm supposed to have Epsom salt in my mouth.
No, but you're not keeping it there.
Ugh, it's gross.
It's just an idea, babes.
Well, I could just make you some make a tub full of warm water and put the salt in there, and you can put your feet in there.
What if we put some Epsom salt inside your private area?
What?
And then I take turns dipping each of my toes in there.
Okay, that's just okay. Can you stop?
Okay,
It's just gross.
got it, babes. I love you, babes. Yes.
I can't believe you just said that.
Do you need a kiss?
It's so gross.
All right, maybe you should give me a kiss.
I don't know if I should after that.
Yeah, I think you should. Oh, give me a kiss, please. Come on. You know you want to. But no joking, because I'm always serious. I'm always serious, boy.
Okay. I don't know what I'm going to do with him. I don't know.
What?
Well, I have to say, Bubs.
Yes.
Never a dull moment with you.
I'm glad to hear that, babes.
Yeah.
Yes. As you know, Jaylo, I am part of this international group.
Yes.
Where we talk about foreign affairs.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I am the dumbest person in this group. Like everybody else, like is reading Russian and has 12 degrees. And got their first
the Russian language.
Yes,
wow.
Got their first one at like age 4.5 or whatever. Yeah, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but they're all like super intelligent people. And then you have like me over there. He's just like, oh, look at what's going on.
Are they all like different ages?
Yes.
Oh wow. Okay.
I did find an interesting news story for the group that I would like to share with you. Mm-hmm. Did you know that in Thailand this last week, they sentenced a civil servant to 43 years in prison for bad-mouthing the king? And she did it like 6 years ago.
Whoa.
Yeah.
I didn't wait, wow.
And the only reason it was 43...
So they're under a kingship?
Yes.
Oh.
It was going to be 86, but because she pleaded guilty, they cut her sentence in half.
That is really, really strict, I would say. Mm-hmm. But I guess if you're under a kingship, you really can't do that. If you're living in a kingdom, you can't talk about the king like that, I guess. No. That's not good. I don't know that she deserves 43 years, but wow. It's a she, right?
Yes.
That's crazy. That is crazy. I didn't know about that.
Oh, yeah, babes.
Wow.
It made me glad to be here in America.
43 years?
Yep.
That's nuts. Well, what about the infamous Michael Fay?
You know what? This is going to sound horrible.
Yeah. I think he was stupid.
Let me explain the story because it was very popular when it came out, but we were kids and we're kind of old.
We're not that old.
There's this kid, I believe was he from Spokane?
I don't even remember where he's from.
He was from here in the Northwest.
Might have been.
And his dad was a businessman, so the family was living in Singapore. He got caught, I believe, spray painting a building or some cars. Cars. And I believe they sentenced him to like 40 lashes?
I think 30 or 40 lashings.
It might not have been, but it was a few lashings.
It was a lot of lashings.
By this cane.
Yeah.
And I think he was like 17 at the time.
Yeah.
I don't think that,
you think that
anything was wrong with that.
You don't think so?
No. Because here's the thing. We can make the argument that lashing somebody with a cane is wrong, right?
Right, uh-huh.
But those are the rules of the country that his family was living in. And he shouldn't have been spray painting those cars.
I don't think so either. He should have known better. It wasn't as if like he was visiting on vacation and he didn't know that.
Yeah,
right?
His family lived there.
So I would agree.
Oh, so we're on the same page with this.
Yeah, I remember I told you that.
Okay, good.
No, I would agree because if you live in a country for that long, you should already know what the customs are. Mm-hmm. Just like in Indonesia, I'm sorry, not Indonesia, Malaysia. I'm sorry, I keep getting those countries mixed up for whatever reason. But in Malaysia, I heard that if you steal something, if you're caught stealing, you get your hand cut off. And if you're caught stealing again, you get your other hand cut off.
I went to this poetry reading.
Yeah.
In Denver. Mm-hmm. We're talking about maybe 2008 or 9. Mm-hmm. And this lawyer comes in. It was a small reading. He has this international student who's living with him. The student is from Iran. Uh-huh. So we all start talking and ask him what would happen if somebody stole something from Iran.
Yeah.
If I remember correctly, and again, this was a number of years ago, he said the first time you would get a warning, the second time you would get a year in prison.
Wow.
And the third time they would cut off one of your hands.
Oh.
Yeah.
Ow. Oh. I don't know which would be worse. Mm-hmm. Well, both of them is bad, but having a limb cut off,
that would suck.
That would be awful.
Yes.
And would they have any prosthetic hands available? Probably not there.
No, and I think part of it, too, is that's to show your shame.
Yeah, I mean, they're really, really, they are definitely not lenient in other foreign countries.
Yeah, you want to be hard on crime, but maybe not that hard.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm for justice, but...
I know, that's a little too much.
Yeah.
That's a year in prison. A year in prison is too much for that. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that
I could be remembering it wrong, but I believe that was correct.
I think the person should at least be sentenced to some community service.
That would make more sense.
That would make more sense to have however many hours of community service, but they should not have their hand cut off or put in prison for a year. That's a little too much.
I agree, babes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. Jaylo.
Yes.
You're going to show me a couple films tonight.
I am. I wanted to go with an adventure theme, and I thought what would be really interesting for us to see is Moana, which is this came out in 2016, I believe, and The Goonies, which you haven't seen, which I'm surprised. That came out in 1985, and that was filmed in Astoria, Oregon. Mm-hmm. Great movie. I think it's a fun movie. I think you would enjoy it. It's definitely a boys' movie.
I'm a good boy.
There's finding basically they're going on an adventure, finding this, looking at this map, trying to find One-Eyed Willie. I think it was his treasure. It was something that had to do with a pirate named One-Eyed Willie. It's really fun.
I'm looking forward to watching it with you.
Yeah, I think you would enjoy it. And Moana is a Disney movie that has to do with Polynesian folklore. And I thought it was really cool how they put that together. Every person who was voicing the cast, all of them were living in Polynesian islands for a time, or they are from or they live in those islands where they're from.
So it's not just Leonardo DiCaprio putting on an accent.
Leonardo DiCaprio is not even in this movie.
Oh, good.
No, the Rock is in there. Dwayne Johnson, the girl who plays the voice of Moana, her mother does a voice cameo in the movie.
Yeah, I think you told me that.
Nicole Scherzinger is in there too. She plays the voice of her mother. And there's some other people that are from New Zealand, and I forgot who else. But it's a really fun movie. I hope you like it.
Oh, thanks. I'm sure I will. And tomorrow, showing you Before Sunrise and About a Boy.
I thought it was Boyhood.
I'm sorry, Boyhood. Why did I say that?
I have no idea why you said that.
You've seen About a Boy, right?
No, you told me about it.
That's my favorite Hugh Grant movie.
You said that was a really good movie.
Yes, at some point we will watch that, but no, we got so many other films to get to.
Yeah.
It is good, even though I'm not really a Hugh Grant fan.
I liked a couple of I liked a couple of his romantic comedies he was in.
If you do like his type of films, then we should watch About a Boy at some point. But there's so many other films I want to show you before then.
You like Notting Hill, right?
I did like that.
That is one of my favorite romantic comedies.
I would probably say I like About a Boy slightly better, though.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
But Notting Hill is really good.
That's a fun movie.
Yes.
Yes.
Have you seen any films since the last time we got together?
No, not since the last time.
I've watched 2 movies this week.
Okay, talk about them.
I finally, after hearing about this movie since the 1990s, sat down and watched the Elia Kazan film, A Face in the Crowd, starring Andy Griffith, and it had a small role for a young actor named Walter Matthau, who you may have heard of.
Oh yeah, Walter Matthau, yes, of course. Yes.
It was really interesting.
You enjoyed it?
Yeah, I enjoyed it. I don't know if I would show it to you or not. I'm on the fence about it, though.
Why not? What's
I don't know.
You don't know? You don't think I would like it?
I think you might. See, this is one of the reasons I'm on the fence about it.
Okay.
It's an interesting commentary on fame.
Okay.
I'll say a little bit about it without giving too much away, only because I'm not sure if I'd show it to you or not. So I'll give you the basic premise. Andy Griffith is this guy who's in jail for disorderly conduct.
Which is a very strange role for him to play.
Oh, yeah. This was a couple of years before the
Andy Griffith
TV show.
Yeah. Right.
This lady comes by who hosts a radio show called A Face in the Crowd. Mm-hmm. And she basically goes to different locations interviewing people who normally are not on the radio. Andy Griffith can play the guitar and he tells stories about his life. Mm-hmm. So he does that. The people at the radio station hear the segment and say, "We think this guy's really charismatic. He would be good for our airwaves." Mm-hmm. They find him, give him a job on the radio, and he becomes a huge local celebrity, eventually moves on to TV, and it's about how fame affects his life and the girl's life, who was the host of the radio show.
Oh, wow.
Again, I'm on the fence of whether or not you would like it, but what does that premise sound like to you?
It sounds like an interesting premise. Yeah.
If you want to, we could watch it sometimes.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Yeah. The other movie I saw, I enjoyed. I don't think you would.
Okay.
I was listening to this other podcast and they were talking about it.
Okay.
I was listening to Watch This, which is a film podcast that
okay.
I'll check in with on occasion. I don't listen to every episode.
Right.
And they were doing a thing on the films of Sam Fuller, who I had heard of, but I never watched any of his movies. And they talked about this film he did in the 60s called The Naked Kiss. And in Watch This, I think they even brought up John Waters. And to me, this film feels like... So if what I'm about to say it kind of sounds like a rehash of that, that's why. I don't think they said it quite like this. It felt like if John Waters directed a noir film in the 1960s. So it starts off with this fight between a hooker and her pimp.
And when did this come out again?
1964.
Wow, okay.
So black and white. He pulls her wig off and we see that she's bald.
Oh, wow.
She knocks him out, takes $75 away from him. 2 years later, she arrives at the small town, sleeps with a cop whose family is rich and well respected in the community. He sends her to this town that's like just across the river, and she starts working with children. They call them crippled children in the movie, but you wouldn't really use that type of language today.
Yeah, because everything's so PC.
Yeah, in this hospital, and she basically falls in love with working with kids who are disabled.
Right.
It's about her journey. She starts dating this guy who we find out is a pedophile.
Whoa.
She kills him because of that.
Wow.
Is sent to the local jail where the cop who she slept with is kind of holding her.
Okay.
They find the girl who he was about to molest.
Wow. And
the town accepts her. And she decides that it's time to move on. That's the basic premise of the movie.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that
or
one
overview.
It sounds kind of disturbing.
I don't know if I would show it to you.
It sounds kind of disturbing. Then.
That's why I gave more of the plot away.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. That sounds a little bit... I mean, that sounds more disturbing than Chinatown, and that was disturbing.
I liked it, though. There's a lot of... The acting is a little bit weird, but I did enjoy the naked kiss.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, Jaylo.
Yes.
I almost called you Alexa.
See? All right, you're gonna have to edit that one.
No, I saw the light.
Okay.
From Miss A. I should not have said that.
Okay.
Yes.
All right, then no editing.
Jaylo?
For this part. What?
Did you have any dreams this week?
I did not. No. I don't remember having any dreams. But this is the one day this week that I had a hard time sleeping that I can think of.
Yes.
Or the one... Well, last night was the one night that I had a hard time sleeping.
Very good. How are you feeling right now?
I'm still awake.
That's good.
I'm still awake. Yes. Still awake.
Is there any other highlights from your week that you want to share?
I can't think of anything. I mean, it wasn't a bad week for me. I mean, it was... it wasn't a bad week overall, but I don't think there was anything like any highlights that I can think of.
All right, babes. If there's nothing else you want to say, maybe we wrap this up. Unless you want me to give some more political commentary.
I thought we were off of that already.
We are off of that already.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Now, Jaylo?
Yes.
I'm going to share something with you.
Uh-oh. What is it?
I am 38 years old.
Yes.
And to this day, I've never kissed a woman.
Oh my goodness.
I've never kissed a woman.
That I don't believe.
So would you like to be my first kiss?
You kissed me on the last episode, and you kissed me a few minutes ago.
I believe you're lying about that. Would you like to be...
Well, I guess I'll kiss you anyway. Why not?
Okay.
I don't have anything to lose. Okay.
Oh, so I just stick this in here.
What?
Nothing. I'm just joking.
What are you talking about?
Nothing.
What are you talking about, though?
All right, babes. Maybe we should wrap this up with a kiss.
Okay. Okay. That's enough. That's enough.
Nothing else you want to say?
No. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
Yeah.
We wish the president well. Well, I do.
Until next time.
Alana wants him to
Goodbye.
fail. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.